there. Welcome to, you know what? Musings with Shinnell Beshola, the podcast where we endeavor to know better, be better, and do better by examining our lives and the ways in which we navigate the spaces where we find ourselves. I'm your host, Shinnell, and I thank you for being here. Before we go any further, please take a moment to subscribe to the podcast so that you won't miss any episodes, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Musings with Shinnell. Are you about to do that? Good. Hey, it's another week, another episode. How are you doing? How are you feeling? How are you? Truly, how are you? Let's take a few seconds to slow down, dig a little deeper, and think about how we really feel in this moment. Inhale and hold it. And exhale. So you may or may not have noticed that I was missing in action last week. And within that time, so much went on and has been going on in America with the elections. So much has been going on in the world, in our lives. COVID is still out there, not caring about anybody. It is a lot. There's so much to unpack. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, anxious, and you need some hope or inspiration, definitely reach out to those who care about you and your well-being and get any help that you feel like you need. And you can also feel free to pop over and listen to episode 1 of this podcast if you haven't already done so. That episode is called, You Know What? It's Okay to Not Be Okay. Fortunately, or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, I think that episode will continue to resonate with many of us for days, months, hopefully not years to come. Alrighty, so what has been going on with me and why was this episode posted outside of my usual schedule? Well, life has gotten super hectic for me. Not that it wasn't before, but I find myself in various stages of transition right now, with a lot of new chapters beginning in my life. With new chapters come new demands, different demands, and you have to adjust as you go, right? In my case, as you already know, we've been keeping our kids at home, and of course that presents challenges. Because we're all locked in the same place, it then follows that what impacts each of us individually also impacts everyone in the house as a collective. So at that point, we all have to make certain adjustments for the home to run smoothly. This is uncharted territory in our household. So if you, like me and my husband and our little family, are making changes and adjusting as you go, then don't feel bad about it. If something doesn't work today, then try another thing tomorrow until you hit that sweet spot. If you ever hit that sweet spot. For the past 2 weeks, we've been doing a lot of that, trying to rework our daily schedules, honor all of our responsibilities, both personally and professionally, and of course, keep the kids happy, all while staying sane. And it has been a time. And that's kind of why the episode fell off schedule. And it really got me thinking about a lot of things and what I'm valuing and why. It also made me think about the kind of empathy that I extend to other people, and then the sometimes harsher, you need to get it done kind of talk that I give to myself. With this podcast, I've been concerned more than once about having the capacity to continue on because I really picked an interesting time to start. But it also isn't lost on me that if I never started, then I would just never do it and live to regret that. I've said in previous episodes, and I'll say it here again, I really feel like this is a fundamentally well-intentioned initiative. And I view this podcast as good work. I am confident that somebody will get something from one of these episodes that just gives them a little bit of hope, motivation, courage, whatever it is that they're looking for. And that's what's driving me to continue and to keep coming back and to keep working on episodes. You know, the way people say that they have a calling? I don't feel as though I've ever used that word in relation to anything that has to do with me. The more I think about it, the more I can see how that makes sense and how that would explain the drive that I have when I'm working on this. Have you ever felt that way about something? And what do you do when you're passionate about a particular initiative, a job, a hobby, anything, but the hours in the day don't really line up? Right? Like, what do you do when your passion comes at a time when a lot of other stuff is going on? All good stuff, but you're busy. And so that really got me thinking about the concept of balance. When we're being pulled in multiple directions and have competing priorities, and there are all these things to be done, and people who need us, and then we who need ourselves, is there really such a thing as balance? Do you have balance? Because if you do, then leave a comment on Instagram or Facebook at Musings with Shinnell, or leave a review and tell me your ways. How have you managed to get into that sweet spot and attain balance on a daily basis? To be transparent with you, when considering my day-to-day responsibilities, I've kind of let the whole balance thing go. And it has worked better for me to focus on prioritization rather than balance. I don't know if it's a mom thing, a working from home with COVID thing, a kids at home while working from home with COVID thing. But for me, right now, at this stage of life, I don't think that balance is an attainable thing for me on a daily basis. I don't really see it. I do see that over an extended period of time, where more days have accumulated, that there may be balance overall, right? When you add all the days that I focused on my various priorities, but on an average day, I don't feel that balance. And I'm learning to become more comfortable with that. So what do I see on a daily basis? On a daily basis, I see where I satisfied all of my non-negotiables. So in there I have the kids, the husband, eat, sleep, work, all that good stuff. And then once I'm able to satisfy those, then I prioritize the tasks after that based on their importance and my well-being, my energy level, my frame of mind, if I'm able to do it. And then I do the hard work at the end of every day of letting myself off of the hook for all of the things that I did not get to, that I could not get to. And a huge part of that is prioritizing my own self-care as well, which I haven't really been awesome at, but I've been working on it lately. I just don't see the whole day-to-day balance over here, you know? I just see prioritization. I found that moving from a place where I'm not trying to attain balance, but I'm trying to prioritize the most important things in each moment, it forces me to be intentional about every single minute of my day, even when I'm choosing to do nothing. And I'm trying my best. We're trying our best. And I'm sure that you are too, with whatever it is that you have going on. And I know that I can absolutely do all the things that I want to do in my life, but I have also realized that I have to have a plan of when I want to do each of those things, and then I have to be comfortable with things not going according to plan. Sometimes it's a struggle. And it's disheartening when you don't have the capacity to do something that's on that to-do list, especially when that thing is something for you, that energizes you, and you feel as though it has you walking in a calling or in a purpose or whatever it is. Achieving things and following dreams doesn't happen without sacrifice. At least not for me. And likely not for you as well. Time. We have so much time, but then it also feels like we don't have enough time. I'm not sure if this is just what happens at this stage of life. I'm not sure if this is a motherhood thing, but it just hits different, the level of freedom that you no longer have, and all of the important responsibilities and tasks that you actually do have. So when you see like episodes missing, or if I like get off of my schedule for this podcast, extend some grace to me. I'm working on it. I'm trying. I'm waiting for the kids to go to sleep so that I can record. Something's going on. So this is where I ask you to think about how you're managing your own life. Are there changes that you need to make? Are you prioritizing correctly? And then this next question is relevant because we're a social media generation. Are your priorities mixed up to the point where you're spending too much time on social media, watching people live their dreams or what you think to be their dreams, while you do nothing about yours? I just feel like if we're going to explore balance or prioritization and achieving the things we want to achieve in life on a daily basis, then we have to be really honest with ourselves about where and how we're spending our time and the people we surround ourselves with and the places we choose to go. We have to be more intentional about everything. So when I started talking in this episode, I thought that I was just presenting an introduction and some background on what I've been up to and why I didn't publish an episode last week. But I feel like I got a bit more introspective than I intended. And so I think what I'm going to do here is I'll just let this musing stand alone as its own episode, where we just talk about balance and prioritization and that kind of stuff. What I'd like to offer is that sometimes it's just a struggle to check all the boxes and do all the things that are expected of you at every level, in every role that you play. One thing that I've also discovered is that if we prioritize pleasing other people before we prioritize our own well-being, that's a recipe for burnout. It'll be a disaster. Because every time we do that, it's like we take more steps away from our own happiness and our own fulfillment. Because you're putting someone ahead of you in a way that's not healthy, right? If you're not good, you can't give everything that you have to give to everyone around you. It doesn't work that way. So whoever's listening to this, I'm not sure if you've gotten anything from this musing that I'll put up as an episode, because I'm really just thinking out loud. I'm hoping that you got something. What I want for you, for us, is for us to visualize the life that we want and think about the things and the people that make our hearts smile, the things that we're happy doing. And then I want us to chase that feeling. Wake up every day and take a few moments, right, to survey our lives and think about what's important to us, what's energizing us, what's draining us, and then adjust our priorities accordingly. It would also help if we start getting into the mindset of, okay, making the decision before we even get out of bed, and say to ourselves that today I'm going to have a healthy mindset. I can't control everyone and everything and all the BS that might come my way, but I can control how I respond and the energy that I give. Right? Remind yourself that you are in control of your life. There are choices you can make at any minute that can change your life just like that. Look at all your responsibilities for the day. Figure out what you must do, figure out what you'd like to do, and then give it your best shot. Always remember that there isn't a level beyond your best. So don't run yourself ragged trying to attain the unattainable. Exercise self-compassion. Do all that you can today, including rest. And if you fall short, do better tomorrow. That's it. In this moment, the message I'm giving to you is the message that I need to hear. Your best is good enough. You can't do it all every day. You're a human being. You have limitations. You need rest. You need to recharge. You don't owe anybody anything. But what you're giving freely of yourself is something that you are in charge of. You can set the pace on that. You can set the schedule on that. And you can take a step back when you need to. Even when it gets really busy, especially when it gets really busy. So since I'm going to post this, I guess I'm going to call this episode, you know what? I've been busy. Balance is hard, but that's okay. If you're still here listening to me, thank you. I can't literally see you, but I see you. As a person, as a human being, with hopes and dreams and shortcomings as well, you are a package deal. And whatever it is in your life that you want to change, whatever it is in your life that you're giving attention to and time to that you need to change, I'm just letting you know, again, that the power is 100% in your hands. You can live the life you want. You just have to figure out what to do and when to do it. Whatever it is. So dig deep within yourself and organize your life. Figure it out. Make your list of priorities and spend time doing or working towards the things that'll make you happy or keep you happy. I think that's it. This was amusing in its most authentic form. And again, I hope you got something from it. If you haven't already, then please follow the podcast on Instagram and Facebook at Musings with Shinnell. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, leave a review, please. Let me know if you're enjoying the content and if you have any topic suggestions. That's all for now. Take care. Be well. Until next time.